Once again, your man DJ Ekin, Tampa's most connected DJ, a dude I'm a fan of. Been watching the career from day one in the building, new situation.
What's good?
Jadakiss.
What's good, baby?
Bruh, let me tell you something right now, man. Seriously, like a lot of dudes I want to talk to, a lot of dudes I have spoken to, but being a fan of this hip hop game and kind of watching a dude like do it from when you first came in with the Locks movement, Jadakiss, and got respect for you too. I can't even front, man. Just glad to see you here, man.
That right there is like a blessing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
To be in this game for this many years, and you being in it for many years as you've been in it,
Right.
to still embrace me, to still come through these cities and these markets to get that love. I'm cool with that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it is what it is with the lyrics. You know what it's going to be,
Yeah.
baby.
I have to say though, man, and I have to talk to like even a lot of my people, man. I'm a fan of like dudes who don't get me wrong. At the end of the day, it's a job. You have to be able to make sales and things of that nature. But I'm also a fan of a dude like you who says, I understand I got to make singles, I got to sell records. But then once I get into that album, right? I get into that album. I'm still gonna get some Jadakiss that brought you into the game. You just had to, make it ready, relevant for 2009.
Yeah, and you know what I mean? That's the challenge that I love with the game.
Right.
Because, you got there's a big young kid market now in the future. And then I still got fans such as yourself, like my peers,
Right.
and even older than us. So that trying to make them meet at the table
Right.
is something I feel is a complete project. And that's this last kiss, you know what I mean? It's like takes you through a journey. I got Jeezy on there. I know
Right.
you want to hear me and Jeezy. I got a joint with Luther. That's going to just blow your socks off.
Like the Luther.
Yeah, Luther.
Wow.
You know what I mean? I got a joint with Nas called What If. That's just going to make you just think. You know what I mean? Pharrell did 2 joints on there. That's crazy.
So you ready?
Yeah. I'm geared up, baby. I'm ready to come back strong.
And I'm going to get into the last kiss because I definitely want to get into that. But let me ask him. I saw you online one time, and I think it might have been on This Is 50, and you made a real good comment that I think a lot of dudes, like I said, who've been in the game as long as you forget. You were like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to start learning and understanding this internet game and how things have changed from when I first started making, mixtapes. You was back making mixtapes when the cassette was the thing to have.
Yeah, there was no internet. That's what I'm saying. This whole thing is like a new formula of music, you know what I mean?
Right.
If you're not aware, the sites when we first came, it was just like we was just talking before we got into the interview, the street teams.
Right.
You know what I mean? The marketing money and the labels independently and major now is down.
Right.
So if you coming into the game as a new artist, there's a lot of things you might not know and a lot of things they might not tell you. But
Right.
I know you got to spend your own money. As we was just saying about the net, a lot of these new artists promo tour is just from the office of the label.
Right.
And they blast them off, through the net.
Right.
Which is nothing wrong with that. But when I came in, I had to get that tour bus and come to these markets and be hand-on with my people and let them know I got a project coming out. Because that's just where I come from. But definitely, I'm on Twitter now, The Real Kiss on Twitter.com. You can check me out, www.jadakiss.com, Jadakiss/MySpace.
And you got to keep it updated regularly.
I got my own site, Hip Hop Soul. That's at Hip Hop SOLE. Yeah, got 2 laptops on the bus, 5 cameras.
Wow.
We putting up. I'm blogging every few hours. I'm putting new images up. Yeah, this is what it is right now. And if you ain't treading water, you gonna drown in this big ocean
man.
out here. Yeah.
So let me ask you, man. Now, and being through like a lot that you've been through, and the Def Jam situation.
Yeah.
And we were talking about that a little bit. You know what I'm saying, before we got into the interview. How's that feel now?
Def Jam is beautiful. I feel like I got a 2-headed monster over there.
Right.
3-headed, excuse me. I got L.A.
Right.
I got Jigga.
Right.
Then I got the staff. You know what I mean? A lot of the staff is people who grew with me in the industry that worked at other labels, J Records and Jive, and you know what I mean?
Right.
And now they perfected their craft as I done perfected my craft with the years we put in. So it's like an anxiety to work with each other, you know what I mean? L.A. showing me a lot of love. He's spending a lot of money.
Right.
Hove gonna put me on one of these good Rock Nation tours, you know what I mean?
How you
he
do
got
it.
a lot of endorsements. So it's about building your brand and making money. Since the actual physical sales are down, you got to attach yourself to the heat, tours, endorsements, sponsors.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's much other loopholes to make money that maybe some of the new artists don't know.
Right.
But yeah, it just feel good to be back after all these years, baby. The Last Kiss. You're gonna love this CD, though.
I got a feeling. I got a feeling it's gonna be a certified banger. And speaking of Jigga, man, and one thing I can say about you, that a lot of people don't understand, and I've watched, you've kind of been up against what everybody would call, I guess, the big dogs. Which lyrically, I've never worried about you when you open your mouth on a mic. I've never. He's gonna do it. Jadakiss is ready.
Yeah.
Now you might not have had all the super marketing behind you and everything else that went with it, because it was.
This is a young man that knows what he's talking about.
You know what I'm saying? So how did, and I just want to hear firsthand from you, how did the Jigga Kiss situation and the Def Jam situation happen?
I mean, well, we always had a mutual respect. You know, he came in the game from a street level and did incredible business endeavors, and you know what I mean, he reached plateaus that's just good for hip hop coming from where we come from.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he's a fan at the end of the day, like I'm a fan of his music.
Right.
So once he achieved the goal of, you know, doing something artists probably do one in a million years, he made it to being the vice president of Def Jam.
Right.
I guess he just started forming his army, you know what I mean? Him
Gotcha.
and Nas reconciled their differences. He brought Nas over there, he brought Fab over there. And, you know, I guess he just wanted me part of his army.
Right.
You know, it's always good. And with this game, with the young kids and the way the fans' ears change, they always like to see change.
Right.
Something different. And, you know, me and him, two heavy hitters, they figured Kiss on the rock, Jigga, Kiss, D-Block, rock. It got to work. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Besides that, the check was about this big. You know what I mean? It's one of these glossies right here. So
Right.
I said, why not? I ain't got nothing to lose.
Normally I have like a limit on my interviews, but if you do me a favor, how about this? Here's what I'm gonna do, because we're gonna stop right here, and can we get into the video, the one you got with Neo? You got another one jump on. You just
I got
introduce it.
2 joints. Yeah, we gonna get in. Yeah,
I tell you what, you introduce the video right here. We'll go to that and come right back, and then we'll finish. I got a lot more questions to ask you, man. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right,
You
cool.
know what it is right here, baby.
So introduce the video, and we
This
good.
is the first joint. You know, I acknowledge the ladies. Jadakiss featuring Neo by my side.
Don't move, man. This man got a lot to say.